I never believed in ghosts or cryptids. Such tales seemed like distractions from reality, stories spun for campfires or late-night entertainment. But all of that changed when I moved into my new house, an old, creaky, worn-down relic of a bygone era. The house was a bargain, its price so low it practically screamed for someone to take it. I ignored the whispers about its history. Stories didn't matter. I needed something affordable, and this was it. From the moment I stepped inside, the house exuded an unsettling energy. Its walls seemed to absorb sound, and the faint smell of mildew clung to the air. Yet, I brushed off the unease as nerves. It's just an old house, I reassured myself, dragging my belongings inside. The first night passed uneventfully, though I couldn't help but notice the occasional creak of the floors above me. I chalked it up to the house settling. An old structure like this was bound to make noise. But by the second night, I couldn't deny that something felt wrong. I was sprawled on the couch, half watching TV, my eyelids drooping with exhaustion. That's when I heard it, a soft, deliberate thump from upstairs. Then another. The rhythm was almost human, like footsteps pacing above me. My heart raced as I strained to listen. Thump. 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 The sound was too deliberate, too steady to be random. Adrenaline surged through me. It's probably just the wind, I whispered, though I didn't believe it. Clutching my phone tightly, I decided to investigate. Grabbing a flashlight, I ascended the creaky stairs, each step echoing loudly in the oppressive silence. The upstairs hallway was cloaked in darkness. I flicked on the light, illuminating the peeling wallpaper and warped floorboards. Nothing seemed out of place at first, but then, as I took a cautious step forward, I saw it. From the end of the hallway, a long, spindly limb emerged, its pale skin stretched taut over unnaturally thin bones. My breath hitched. Another limb followed, then another. The creature unfolded itself from the shadows, its grotesque form barely fitting in the confined space. It was tall, inhumanly tall. Its body was hunched and twisted, as if it had been forced into a shape it didn't belong in. Its face was featureless except for a grotesque mouth that stretched impossibly wide across its head. The creature's elongated body undulated like a snake, yet it bore no resemblance to one. My mind raced with questions. How had I not seen or heard it the first night? Why hadn't it disturbed me while I slept? Before I could process the terror fully, the creature let out a guttural groan, the sound reverberating through the walls. Then, it began to move toward me. Panic overtook me. I bolted down the stairs, nearly tripping over myself in my haste. I expected it to chase me, but it didn't. The thumping footsteps ceased as soon as I reached the bottom floor. I stood there, trembling, my mind a whirlwind of fear and confusion. The next logical step was to call the police. But what would I tell them? That there was a monster upstairs? They'd think I was crazy. So, I lied. There's an intruder in my house, I told the dispatcher. 2 officers arrived within minutes. I led them to the staircase, my hands shaking. They assured me they'd handle it and ascended the steps. I waited in the living room, every second stretching into an eternity. Then, silence. No voices. No footsteps. Just nothing. After 15 minutes, I called out, "Officers? Are you okay?" No response. I couldn't bring myself to go upstairs. I stood frozen, my thoughts spiraling. What had happened to them? Had the creature taken them? Days turned into weeks, and the fear consumed me. The thing upstairs never came down, but its presence was constant. Every night, I heard its heavy footsteps pacing above me. I stopped sleeping in my bedroom, moving instead to a spare room downstairs. I couldn't bring myself to venture upstairs, not even during the day. I tried calling my landlord, fabricating a story about a break-in. He agreed to come and inspect the property. When he arrived, I felt a pang of guilt but also relief. Perhaps he'd find a rational explanation, a hidden squatter, an animal. I begged him not to go upstairs, but he insisted. I watched helplessly as he climbed the stairs, my heart sinking with each step. Minutes passed. Then hours. The landlord never came back down. The last straw was my brother's visit. He came to congratulate me on the new house, unaware of the horrors within. I tried to keep him downstairs, making excuses about the state of the upstairs rooms. But curiosity got the better of him. Despite my frantic pleas, he ascended the staircase. "What the hell is this thing up here?" he yelled. His voice was cut off by a guttural groan, followed by a sickening thud. I didn't move. I couldn't. My brother's fate was sealed, and I was powerless to stop it. Now, I'm alone with it. The house refuses to sell. Prospective buyers never make it past the first showing. I've stopped calling for help. What's the point? I can't bring myself to abandon the house entirely, though. Guilt and fear keep me tethered here. Every night, I hear it, the friend upstairs. Its groaning haunts me, a constant reminder of the lives it has claimed. Sometimes I wonder if there are more of them up there, lurking in the shadows. I'll never know. I can't bring myself to look again. I've started keeping a journal, documenting every sound, every creak, every groan. Maybe one day, someone will find this and understand what happened here. Or maybe the friend upstairs will claim me, too. Until then, I wait, haunted by the knowledge that I'm not truly alone in this house.